Good afternoon, and thank you so much for joining us for the Campus Bubble webinar series. Today, we're doing our product demo webinar. And at Campus Bubble, our philosophy, believe in investing in your most qualified prospects, your admitted students. And before we go into our approach, just want to give you a little bit of background information about us. Campus Bubble was founded out of and funded by Emory University, where campus leaders saw a need to better engage students throughout the entire student life cycle. So that's where Campus Bubble originally started, and here you can see some of our other partner institutions. So when we think about college admissions, there's definitely a changing landscape. It's probably not news to all of you that there's a decrease in the number of college-going students. According to the National Student Clearinghouse Research Center, enrollments have dropped for the 8th consecutive semester, down 2% this fall from last fall. Nationwide, melt rates range from 10 to 15%, and amongst first-generation students, those rates are as high as 40%, according to research from Ben Castleman and Lindsay Page. And more than that, students are hedging their bets. So they're applying to more and more colleges, casting a wider net, and making their decisions once acceptance letters and financial aid offers have been finalized. So needless to say, competition for students is fierce, competition to fill those seats. And traditional marketing efforts are not quite as effective as they used to be. Students are paying less and less attention to them. Social media, very popular amongst young students, but it's also competitive. How do you get your message across when students are following hundreds, if not thousands of accounts? According to Facebook, anytime a user logs in, they can see as many as 15,000 pieces of content. So there's a lot of competition there and not so much data to help inform your enrollment efforts. Brochures are often handed off to mom and dad. Email on its own cannot be the sole source of engagement for students. They need something a little bit more than that. And when it comes to college websites, those require students to go digging for information, which they're not accustomed to. These students have grown up with Amazon, giving the thumbs up or the thumbs down to pieces of content that come their way. So getting students to engage with your website, particularly during the decision phase of the admissions cycle, can be a challenge. And overall, students are telling us that these marketing efforts feel transactional, generic, and of course, for those on the admissions side, they don't offer as much data as we would like, and they're kind of disjointed. So it's hard to see the relationship between students who are opening their emails or engaged on social media or taking a look at the website. And our enrollment yield solution attempts to bring all of that together. But first, what do students want? Well, according to the 2016 Social Admissions report, 93% of students want to receive communications that are specifically tailored. So no more mass messages, no more mass communications. They'd like those personalized to their individual academic and personal interests. Students are also interested in hearing back from colleges very quickly. The social admissions report found that 53% of students expect a response within a day of contacting college representatives. So they want to build those relationships, feel those connections, and really get the information that they need in a timely manner. So at Campus Bubble, we believe the best way to seal the deal is to capture your admitted students' attention with a very personalized approach to yield marketing that allows you to engage students, move them through the funnel, and ultimately reach your enrollment goals. Our solution is college-branded, multi-channel digital marketing solution that the goal is to align your yield marketing efforts with your students' communication habits. And we'll go into a little bit more detail here in just a moment. But ultimately, deployment is very quick. We don't need any external IT resources. So your yield solution can be up and running in as little as 10 days. And here we've got kind of the basic overview of what takes place once colleges join and become partners with Campus Bubble, from kickoff call to discussing the branding and content, a 1-hour training session, and ongoing management and strategy. So the first step in our process, we help colleges personalize their message to admitted students. And that's done through a multi-channel marketing campaign that delivers the right content to the right students. So imagine one of your admitted students. His name is Hirsch. Hirsch gets an email or a text message or even sees a post in social media that drives him to his very own personalized website. And here Hirsch can get information that's tailored to his academic interests. Maybe he's majoring in biochemistry, so he'll get that information related to the biochemistry major. He gets information about his admissions counselor, so he's able to click a button and directly reach his admissions counselor. And our personalized websites complete with not only do they match the style and design and ultimately the look and feel of your college website, but they have many calls to action driving students to engage and enroll. Most of the engagement then takes place. One of the calls to action drives students to the Bubble app, which is an exclusive web and mobile app that maximizes engagement during the decision-making process. So each college has its own private app that's limited only to those admitted students. And here, students can have genuine interactions with other admitted students, with select student ambassadors, and with admissions staff. They can take the roommate finding questionnaire to find a roommate, ask questions of the admissions staff and financial aid officers, browse through the admitted student directory and find other admitted students from their hometown or who are studying the same majors as they are, and send instant messages. That's one of the most popular features. At some of our colleges, we've had nearly 100,000 messages sent back and forth between admitted students. And ultimately, the goal is to help students build a sense of belonging and stay engaged from the time that they're admitted until they arrive on campus in the fall. Finally, we take all of the data from each component of our marketing solution, from the text messages, the emails, the personalized websites, and the Bubble engagement app, and combine that data into our Insight dashboard, where each student is assigned an enrollment score based on his or her engagement with the various content that has come his or her way. And that helps colleges really focus their high-touch efforts on those students who are most likely to enroll. So you get a sense of those students who are really engaged, making lots of connections, finding a roommate. We know those students are almost certainly planning to enroll. And then there are other students who are not very engaged at all. Those students almost certainly are not planning to enroll. And finally, the group in the middle, those students who might be on the fence. And the goal, again, is to help colleges understand which students to focus their high-touch and enrollment efforts on. Each college is also assigned their own senior campus consultant who works closely with institutional partners around strategy to help reduce summer melt, shape the class, drive yield, and ultimately stand out from other institutions. So with that, we'll go into the demo portion of the webinar. Give me just a moment to switch up some screens here. So first thing I want to show you is the personalized websites. And this is an example from one of our partners in the graduate arena at Johns Hopkins. You can see here at the top lots of calls to action, particularly to sign into Bubble. That's the primary call to action. We love to feature students' stories, whether that's through video or through vignettes and lots of images, but really lots of visual content to help engage students. Here, students can directly contact their admissions counselor, and it's not just any admissions counselor, but specifically that admissions counselor who's assigned to them. So potentially someone with whom they already have a relationship. With just a click, they can register for a campus visit or dive into more information about the flagship courses of the program. Further down, we show various outcomes from this particular program, as well as additional faculty and alumni profiles. And all of this content is really is completely customizable. It's done on a school-by-school basis. We work closely, again, with our institutional partners to help identify which content makes the most sense. And the most important part is that new content isn't necessary. We work with the content that you already have either on your website, on an online view book, on YouTube, on social media channels, and we're really creative around taking that content and repurposing it for these personalized websites. And here again, you can see some scrolling profiles of various members of the Johns Hopkins Business School community. Then students dive into, again, one of the main calls to action is to sign into the bubble. So what that looks like from a student's perspective, I'm going to show you here. Students log in. They already have an account created for them. And it appears that my account is not working correctly. Students are then prompted to complete their profile, and all these questions are, again, completely customizable based on the college or university and based on what characteristics, what information admissions counselors are interested in learning more about. Students can select a major or which college they're planning to study at, and their profile field questions can be short response, long response, or multiple choice. And here, make note of the fact that I've selected the College of Education. So once I update my profile, I'll have information related to that College of Education. I'll be getting information for the College of Education and not information for the College of Technology or the College of Arts and Sciences. So the bubble, this is again what students will see when they first log in. You can see a number of calls to action. Again, these are configured based on the institution. Some of them are external, for example, driving students to a website where they can submit their deposit, or to an enrollment checklist, or even back to the admissions homepage. Then we send students to meet their future classmates, where they can go to the directory and see all the other admitted students. Generally, they're not all named Demo. They have real names. And then to their groups. And so you can see here some of the groups that we've created. And again, this is just a demo deployment. But I selected the College of Education in my profile, so I'll be getting information, news, and updates related to the College of Education. I can chat with other admitted students here, make friends, get to know other students from my hometown, ask questions of the admissions staff about financial aid or about life on campus, and even connect with current students. Again, the messaging is an extremely popular feature in our platform. It's easy for students to send messages to other individuals or to send messages amongst a group of people, so kind of that group chat aspect. From the admissions side, this will kind of give you a better sense of what admissions staff might see. Going to the admin panel, we have a number of features and capabilities here, particularly around messaging. Administrators can send messages to various segments of students, and we help the admissions team segment their enrolled student population based on the characteristics that make the most sense. So again, whether that's major or academic interest area, enrollment type, so transfer student, international student, first-time freshman. So students can be grouped according to various characteristics and receive messages or even surveys around those characteristics. Finally, we also have our roommate finder. So those questions are configured here, and those are weighted according to a given priority level. And students can then find their matches, get to know those students, and find a roommate through the bubble. Our keyword feature helps administrators identify information that's what students are talking about. So if students mention housing or financial aid, an administrator will be pinged with that. And then some reports just around the bubble are generated here. But beyond that, administrators would use the Insight dashboard to really get a sense of the type of engagement that's taking place. So here they can see the number of students active in the campaign. So over here, in this case, it would be 1,113 students who have received the text messages or emails, gone to their personal websites, and have been invited to access the Bubble app. Indicated matriculation is the number of students that have clicked I'm going or submitted a deposit. So for example, here in the bubble, students are able to use the enrollment toggle to kind of give the administrators a sense of whether or not they're planning to attend. And again, this text is customizable as well. So that data goes here. Based on enrollment score, we've identified the number of students who are on the fence, in this case, 144. The percentage of students that have signed into the app and those who are very engaged within the app, the number of connections made, how many new friendships are being formed, students that are meeting one another, as well as student-generated content. And for the personalized websites, we're able to see what percentage of students have opened those websites, clicked on a call to action, and particularly have clicked on submit deposit. So lots of information here. We also pull in information from our email marketing and text campaigns, that information is not live at the moment. Now going back to, wanted to share with you a few case studies. Excuse me while I enter back into the full screen mode. So some of the colleges we work with a range of institutions, public colleges and universities, privates, large state institutions, and small liberal arts colleges. At Morehouse College here in Atlanta, last year we found that 77% of the students who use the Bubble app ultimately ended up enrolling at Morehouse. And of those students who logged in at least 10 times, we found that over 90% of those students enrolled. And right now we're seeing very high adoption rates amongst Morehouse's class of 2020. Around 40% of those students have joined the Bubble so far this spring. Indiana State University switched from one of the main competitors to Campus Bubble last year. We launched in late November of 2015 and have seen Indiana State has really used their Bubble very strategically. So they've introduced new groups throughout the winter and the spring, and now are even using the Bubble to help students get to know one another prior to new student orientation. At Butler University, we focused primarily on the personalized websites, did both student and parent campaigns, and used the analytics platform to help the marketing staff understand the extent to which students were engaging with those personalized websites. And the same campaign last year resulted in a 5% increase in yield. Just again, a few testimonials here from Indiana State and from Morehouse College about not only the implementation process and the launch process, but also some of the ROI that they've seen from the campus bubble enrollment yield solution. So next steps, we're offering everyone who's joined our product demo webinar a 45-day pilot program to test out the solution. We know that the May 1st deadline is coming up, and there's still an opportunity to use the enrollment yield solution to prevent summer melt and maintain student engagement throughout the summer before classes start in the fall. And we really value our institutional partners, so we want to make sure that Campus Bubble is the right fit for you so that we can maintain those relationships over the long term. All right, and with that, we'll open the floor up to questions. So if you have any questions, feel free to submit those through your GoToWebinar control panel. And a question coming in from Eleanor. What is the implementation process to get this off the ground, and where do you get the content? Sure, so great question. The implementation process we've streamlined down into about 10 days is probably the shortest time frame, but no more than just about 2 weeks. So we start off with a kickoff call. We get to with your senior campus consultant, so you can get on the same page, make sure that the goals and needs are articulated clearly. And in that initial call, we begin to provide you with some of our recommendations for the marketing campaign. We give you some mock-ups of the personalized websites, the email campaigns, the text campaigns, and allow you to take a look at those and give us suggestions. And we work really closely with you to ensure that the content really mirrors the content on your website, on your social media platforms, and in all parts of your campaign. Beyond that, we then submit your apps for approval and get that off the ground, and go through kind of a few other revisions in the content. And again, the content comes directly from your website, from your social media platforms, from your videos, your view books. So there isn't any additional content that needs to be created for the campaign. Another question coming in from Peter. What is the pricing model for this product? And the pricing ranges between $15,000 and $40,000 a year based on the size of the admitted class. Looks like we have time for one last question here from Bradley. Your dashboard looks a lot like my CRM. Am I going to have to go to two places? Can you integrate this data? Great question. That we can definitely integrate data into any CRM. We've worked with other CRMs in the past and have done those pretty successfully. So it's very easy to integrate that data into what you're seeing in the CRM. All right. And with that, if you have any other questions, we hope you'll follow up with us. And after the webinar, we'll send you a copy of the recording for your reference. And we hope to hear from you soon. Thank you for joining us. Take care.